So you're a student. You're juggling classes, studying, trying to have some kind of social life, and on top of all that, you've got to pay for things. Tuition, books, rent, you name it. It's the classic dilemma, right? How do you make money without your grades completely falling apart?
It's a question pretty much every student asks themselves. You need a job, sure, but it can't be just any job. It has to be something that can bend around your crazy schedule of lectures, labs, and those, super late night study sessions.
And in today's world, the gig economy seems like the absolute perfect answer. You've seen the apps for food and grocery delivery. They promise the ultimate freedom. Work whenever you want, for as long as you want. Sounds like a dream come true for a student, doesn't it?
Well, here's the thing. It turns out the answer is a little more complicated than that. In fact, that super flexible, high-paying option might just come with some serious strings attached. Strings that a lot of students, especially if you're studying abroad, just never see coming.
Okay, let's get into it. First off, let's talk about why everyone's so drawn to the delivery app world. I mean, it's the ultimate modern side hustle. It promises freedom and it promises fast cash, all from the palm of your hand. So, the big question, how much money are we really talking about? Well, according to recent data, drivers for an app like DoorDash could pull in anywhere from about $18 to almost $29 an hour. That's pretty amazing. Even Uber Eats and Instacart, they're showing really strong hourly rates. When you are living on a student budget, numbers like those are pretty hard to ignore. And listen, it's not just about the money. The perks are a huge part of the appeal. You get to be your own boss, you set your own hours, and you keep 100% of your tips. Some of these apps even give you daily payouts and discounts on things you actually need, like gas and car maintenance. For a student who needs cash now and wants total control, this really does look like a perfect fit. But hold on, the gig economy isn't the only game in town. For decades, students have relied on a much more traditional way to earn money, the good old on-campus job. And the cornerstone of that world is often the federal work-study program. Now, this isn't just any part-time job. It's actually a federally funded program specifically created to help students with financial need pay for their education. It's basically employment with a mission. So how's it work? Well, if you qualify based on your financial need, the program hooks you up with part-time jobs, and they're usually right there on campus. Think working as a library assistant or in a professor's office. You're guaranteed at least the federal minimum wage, and the money you earn is meant to go straight towards your school costs. It's stable, it's predictable, and it's all part of the university system. Okay, so we've got two solid options on the table, right? The flexible, potentially high-paying gig job and the stable, integrated campus job. You'd think you just pick the one that sounds better to you. But not so fast. There is a huge piece of fine print here that can change literally everything. And this picture really gets to the heart of the matter. Your right to work as a student, especially if you're not a citizen of the country where you're studying, is tied to a really strict set of rules. And ignoring those rules can have some pretty serious consequences. And there it is, a direct warning from a student employment rights guide. You know that be your own boss freedom we were talking about with the gig economy? Well, legally, that often means you're classified as self-employed. And for some students, that is a massive flashing red flag. This whole issue is absolutely crucial for international students. If you are in the country on a student or a Tier 4 visa, your permission to work is very, very specific, and it's limited. You're not just a student who happens to have a job. Your right to work is entirely conditional on your visa status. And these conditions, they aren't just suggestions. They are strict prohibitions. You can't be a professional athlete or an entertainer. You can't fill a full-time permanent job. And yep, right there at the top of the list, you cannot be self-employed or engage in any business activity. On top of what you can't do, there's a hard limit on how much you can work. For degree-level students, the magic number during term time is 20 hours a week, not a minute more, and that's for all of your jobs combined. So let's connect the dots here. The crucial point is this. When you sign up to be a driver for DoorDash or Uber Eats, you are almost always signing on as an independent contractor. That means, for all legal purposes, you are self-employed. And that directly contradicts the visa rules we just looked at. Okay, so where does all this leave us? Well, it means that making an informed choice isn't just about the pay and the hours. It's about working smarter and, most importantly, working legally. Let's just put it all side by side. Gig work, it offers that amazing flexibility and, yeah, the potential for higher pay, but, and this is a huge but,
Its self-employed status carries a massive risk of a potential visa violation. On the flip side, a campus job like work study is structured, it's definitely visa compliant, and it's convenient. The downside? The schedule's fixed and it might pay a little less.
So at the end of the day, there's really no single best job for everyone. The right choice depends completely on your personal situation. Are you a domestic student who just needs that flexibility? Hey, gig work might be perfect. Are you an international student who has to be 100% sure you're following the rules? The safer, more structured path of a campus job is probably the smarter move.
And that brings us to the final, critical question you really have to ask yourself. In that rush to earn some extra cash, it is absolutely vital to make sure the side hustle you choose is actually helping you reach your goal and not putting your entire education at risk.